What is going on, world? Welcome back once again. My name is ZacNovak and this is ZacNovak Plays Games, or Baked ZacNovak. In today's video we're actually showing two rocket launchers, putting them head to head, a Hake and a Bad Omens. You'll see why when we actually get into the video, but roll the intros, let's get right into it, and I do hope you enjoy. Alrighty, now before we do actually get into the video, I did actually want to kind of just show you guys this is a heroic event that was one of, if not the fastest heroic events I've done in the Dreaming City so far, and it was only done with 2 Guardians, me and some other random. It was pretty cool, and I thought you guys might want to actually see it. I will keep in mind that actually some of the public events in the Dreaming City are really freaking fun, and some of them actually are a little bit of a pain. Some of them, however, are just one of the whole things where if you go through the experience, it's cool. But anyway, as you can see, this is a video from, well, a clip from a video that I did the other day where I got double exotic drops. Now, I do actually want to state for you guys that I didn't actually edit the video so it looked like I got 2 exotic drops, even though someone decided to comment that. Not gonna mention any names, but I will state that Destiny in itself is really freaking fun and kind of also confusing when it comes to exotics. Now, for some people, exotics are dropping like candy and they are the new exotics and stuff like that. For myself, they are kind of dropping like candy, but they're not really dropping as frequently as I'd like with the good candy. As you can see, I get a colony. Now, this is in Gambit. I did actually get myself a colony for, surprisingly, I don't know why in Gambit, but it was kind of pretty freaking cool, and it was higher light level than what I had, so that was awesome. I also ended up getting another exotic. This is also in Gambit. You guys can actually see the exotic engram drop on the floor, so you guys know I'm not actually lying when I say that I got exotics. Now, this exotic in itself is something that I was surprised by. It's a freaking Lord of Wolves. It's what I already had before. So yeah, but it's higher light level, so that's pretty cool. But, however, what we are talking about in this video, which I've been babbling for other things about, anyway, this rocket launcher, the Hake rocket launcher. Now, this thing in itself is honestly pretty freaking cool. I do want you guys to kind of keep in mind that before I do fire this shot, I do want to state Hake rocket launchers all have intrinsic tracking. So, yeah, they all got tracking in them. Keep that in mind, even if it doesn't have, you know, the status of saying tracking. It is an intrinsic perk. It is built into all Hake rocket launchers that I've seen so far. And honestly, I will state that it is pretty freaking cool. Now, I will say that there are other rocket launchers in the game that do actually have tracking and stuff like that. One being this one that I'm actually rocking at the moment that Bungie did not want to actually load in. But as you guys can see, we got some pretty good tracking on this thing. And it also, as you can see, has cluster bombs. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have finally found a rocket launcher in Destiny 2 that actually has tracking and cluster bombs for just, you know, a normal legendary. It is honestly pretty freaking cool, and it's really OP for a lot of situations. As you can see right here, doing a public event, it does come in handy quite a bit, and it is pretty freaking wait, that wasn't supposed to happen. It is really cool when you actually do get that tracking lock on and it does actually hit target with cluster bomb, which honestly, cluster bomb in itself is amazing on any rocket launcher, but having that tracking, it honestly just makes it so much more, you know, juicy. This thing, I will state, is really good in almost all situations that I've seen so far. Now, taking out ads in itself, it is honestly a beastly weapon, and it really does work. You have to actually be in a certain kind of area if you want to target your, you know, enemy and then fire straight up and watch that rocket fly straight down. It does have a bit of an aggressive launch, but in some situations, if you got Guardians that stand in front of you, it's not so, you know, crazy amazing. But I will state, this thing in itself is very decent for taking out large enemies of ads. Now, keep in mind, I did say this thing has tracking, so once you do get a far enough distance away and you do want to see the tracking in itself go pretty cool, you lock onto your target, you aim away, and then you watch it fire in and just, it hits your target, and it is sweet. The one thing you do have to keep in mind is that when you are tracking someone, if someone does actually kill that target, the tracking does actually, you know, dissipate and just kind of fires wherever it wants to go. But with tracking, it hits your targets, and if there is a bunch of targets, it does a lot of damage. So this thing in itself is Bad Omens. As you can see, we've got black powder, we've got tracking module, and we've also got cluster bombs. This thing is honestly amazing. It is, if not the best, you know, legendary that I've used so far in quite a while. However, I will state, keep in mind that there are other rocket launchers that are virtually as good, but not actually as good. As you can see, this is with the Hake rocket launcher. We've got that good old tracking, but it doesn't have that good of a blast radius and doesn't actually, you know, destroy a large amount of targets if you are firing at a group of them. I will say that I'm not really firing at groups of targets here, but as you can see that the targeting in itself is virtually good, but it's not crazy amazing. It's one of those things where it's aggressive, but it's not overly aggressive like other things. With Bad Omens, I will state it does feel a little bit more aggressive. However, I do actually just think that is the blast takeoff, and as well as the whole thing of it has cluster bombs. But moving to another area, this is another area on Nessus. As you can see, this thing just, it curves. It really freaking works. With groups of people, it just absolutely destroys. I will say, keep in mind again, this thing is hand in hand with other rocket launchers. If it does actually have cluster bomb. If it is a Hake rocket launcher with cluster bomb, you are set. If it's one of those things like this where you do have cluster bombs and tracking, make sure your tracking does actually work, and so that way your cluster bombs can actually work as well. It's cool, but I will say, sometimes there is certain things where you do try to actually lock on really quick and it doesn't work, so you do actually have to take that little bit more time to lock on. And even if you do, you sometimes hit the wrong target, but if that does happen and you've got more rockets, you don't really have to worry. You can target, look away, and then just fire. It is fun. Now again, Hake rocket launchers are decent. Bad Omen rocket launcher in itself is beastly, just normal. With the actual ability to track and with the cluster bombs, it just makes it so much better. I will say, up against big tier enemies, it does a fair bit of damage, taking down the shield and taking down a fair bit of health with both the single blast and the actual, you know, detonation from the cluster bombs. And it's one of those things where, yeah, if you guys are someone that is bored and you just want to have a lot of fun in Destiny 2, this can actually, you know, cure that little bit of boredom. You can have quite a bit of fun. I spent, I think, about 4 hours doing this, but yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, click that like button down below, leave a comment, let me know, do you guys have this rocket launcher or a Hake rocket launcher that has, you know, cluster bombs or anything like that? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do all that good stuff. If you are a new viewer, maybe hit that subscribe button so you can stay subscribed for my content. If you do want to actually stay notified and up to date when I do actually upload, click that bell notification so you can actually see when I do upload. There will actually be a live stream coming soon with BKD Potato, which he is actually linked on my YouTube page if you want to check him out. He is still a fairly small YouTuber, but he is one of my good childhood friends, and he's one of those guys that I do want to help out. So hopefully he does get some videos up. This is a shout out to him. This is also one of those things where I want to state, dude, if you're watching this, make sure you do actually upload videos. Anyway, this has been ZacNovak. Do all that good stuff, and I'll be sharing like Karen if he was Ed Sheeran. But until next time, I will actually try to have a video coming up a little bit later today, potentially maybe tomorrow. We'll see how things actually do go with that. But yeah, not really 100% too sure what it actually will be. There is a few videos that I am working on, some videos that are about, well, exotics. Even though I haven't actually got said exotics, I'm just kind of doing a rundown of what they are. I do want to get a few more exotics if possible, and if I do, I will definitely go through and actually give a review on all those. Some of the exotics that have actually changed since Forsaken has dropped are actually pretty decent now, so maybe we'll look at those. But until next time, this is ZacNovak, signing off. Peace out.